All right. Well, listen. I just said, like, people are asking me, like, what does Uncle Jamie know? Go ahead and bring Uncle Jamie in for the college football locks of the week. And I said it the first week we did it. Nobody watches more college football than this dude, and he has the locks, and he's been feeding them to me for years. And it took him a week to get going, but he's 5-1 in the last 2 weeks. As Uncle Jamie joins us right now from Central City Toyota, the GM of Central City Toyota, for the college football locks of the week. Uncle Jamie, how are you?
It's happening. 5-1 streak. Let's keep it rolling here. I don't want to talk Sixers. You guys are depressing me talking that topic.
Yeah, well, maybe after the college football season, you can come on and we can cry about the Sixers every week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which wouldn't be fun. All right, so this past week we got the first peek of what the playoff would look like, right? Yeah. So it's a 12-team bracket. The first round is Friday, December 20th, that weekend. So you have a game on Friday, you have 3 games on Saturday. The quarterfinals are New Year's Eve into New Year's Day, and then they have the semis the following week, and then the championship the week after that. As it stands right now, you look at it, Ohio State's your number one. Penn State right now would play Ole Miss in the opening round, but you have some pretty intriguing matchups. Georgia, and we'll talk about them coming up in a second, they're on the outside looking in at this point, where they wouldn't even make the playoffs right now. So just, I guess, your overall, your impression after seeing what the first peak could look like here with this first 12-team playoff.
I'll say this, obviously Big Ten, SEC predominant. What are these Big Five groups going to bring to the table? I mean, you got BYU in that mix. The AAU conference will put a team into that mix. So it'll be interesting. Notre Dame is in that mix. No one talks about the Irish. I mean, when's the last time anybody talked about Notre Dame football? It used to be a daily topic. Now you can hardly hear about it. So you would expect this year, based upon what you've seen, that the SEC would be predominant in these brackets. They're right now feasting on each other, and that's why I think you're having some bigger SEC teams like Georgia not in there based upon, the gauntlet schedule that they're running. Indiana. I mean, what is Indiana? If Indiana, Penn State, and Ohio State played each other in a round robin, who would be the best team? I mean, you can make an argument based upon what you've seen. Indiana's the best team this year.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be, I think the one thing you can predict in this playoff is 100%. It is going to be outcomes that you would not expect. So in regards to picking those games, I think it's going to be very dynamic as to where they are and how the teams are sort of shaping and form. Plus, you have the championship games that we haven't talked about yet in each conference coming up. That's going to impact the standings significantly. So
you look
at standings.
You look at the 12 teams right now. Who the hell knows what it's going to look like when we actually get into this process? But it's interesting to see. I said Ohio State's not number one. They're not number one. Oregon, BYU, Texas, and Miami right now would have the first round bye, so they would automatically advance to the quarterfinals. But we talk about Indiana, and it's like, oh, Indiana, this is awesome. They could end up facing Alabama in the first round and get a huge wake up call, being like, "Welcome to college football playoff."
I mean, has anybody watched Miami's games this year? I mean, literally, they defense. Cam Ward looks great. Their defense looks horrible. They play these games. All of a sudden, they score 25 points in the fourth quarter. They got bit last week playing that type of strategy. I mean, if you put them up against an Ole Miss, a Georgia, an Ohio State, what's going to happen to Miami in those kind of games?
Yeah, you're right.
You would get thumped. So
it's exciting.
Yep. No doubt.
All right, so let's talk about some of these games here as you are riding high with 5-1 in the last 2 weeks. All right, so well, let's start off. What did do I not have them? Did I delete it? All right, so I know you had Tennessee and
Georgia. So yeah,
and Georgia. All right, no, so I got it. So Tennessee and Georgia. It's a big number considering the way Georgia's looked the last couple weeks here.
Yeah.
What's your because you keep waiting for him, and Carson Beck's just terrible, but you keep waiting for him to kind of wake up so they can make a run here into the college football playoff. I don't know if it's coming this year, Jamie.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, I keep picking Georgia. The Tennessee quarterback is going to play, from what I heard last night, but he's compromised coming in. Tennessee's offense, a lot of hype about Josh Heupel's offense this year. You can see how defenses have schemed to stop him, and he hasn't countermeasured, which is why Tennessee's offense is struggling. I think that's why the line is what it is. Also, you got to think at some point you're going to see Georgia replicate what they did against Texas, which is absolutely thump the Longhorns.
Yeah.
So I say lay the points, take Georgia. This is it. This is Kirby Smart's Waterloo. He doesn't take it here. He's 3 losses. He's out. So I think this is the game.
The get right game for Georgia. They're 10-point favorites at home over Tennessee. Yeah. Uncle Jamie will take Georgia -10. All right, South Carolina hosting Missouri, 24-23. The Gamecocks 13.5-point favorites. South Carolina's riding a 3-game winning streak. Missouri won last week, but they lost to Alabama 34-0 the week before that. Kind of got exposed. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I gotta keep riding South Carolina. I mean, they have. If you've been watching these games the last 3 weeks of South Carolina, their defense is predominant. Beamer Ball is back from Virginia Tech to South Carolina, from son to, or from father to son. I really like South Carolina. I love how they're playing. Do I think Missouri? I'm a big believer in their coach, Eli Drinkwater. He's a good coach. But I just think South Carolina is just one of those teams trending in the proper direction. I think Missouri, their quarterback's been in and out, the running game's been in and out, and their defense is suspect. So take South Carolina, lay the points.
Yeah, my school district, Spring Ford, they signed the quarterback and he actually got injured in one of the first games of the year. But Matt Zollers, Missouri signed. So they have a local kid that's coming there. Missouri, like Matt Rule could have taken that job. He went to Baylor, and obviously he did well in Baylor, and then it's been the NFL, and then he's back in Nebraska. But Missouri's not a great job, and he did a really good job with kind of turning them back into relevancy here. So,
when was the last time Missouri football was relevant? I mean, Missouri basketball was the sport at that school. So making headway into the SEC, like the Coach Lay down at Vanderbilt this year. Making strides in that league is huge, based upon what you're up against.
Yeah. No doubt. All right, and I actually you have the Oregon's in Madison against Wisconsin, and it's sometimes it takes a second to realize this is a Big Ten game, right? Like Oregon is in the Big Ten now, and you think about the difference that these new teams has made in the Big Ten. It's totally changed the conference. You talked about it with the college football playoff. The Big Ten's awesome. The days of it's Purdue and Iowa, or it's like Indiana, who's actually good this year. But you get these slop teams at the bottom of the Big Ten that have no quarterback play, and you're watching a game on ESPN2 at noon because there's no other good games on. Not anymore. Oregon's the best team in the country going to Madison, and Missouri's been disappointing this year. 5-4. Oregon, they only have 1 game left in the season. They have a bye next week, and then they finish at Washington. So they're more or less they're like, all right, we're going to be the number 1 seed in the football playoff. They are a big favorite against Wisconsin on the road. Is this a look ahead game? How do you, or is this a game where you take it where they're looking ahead and they're thinking, we got this, we're not worried about it?
So I think the line is 10 in this game, which I think is I think that's telling you it's a Wisconsin line.
14.
Is it 14 now? Okay. So I'll say this. I think Wisconsin's a total fraud. They're an old school Big Ten team. Like you were talking about last year, think about the Iowa team. No offense. Couldn't score a touchdown. Was in the Big Ten championship. That is no longer. Now you have these Pac-10 teams in the Big Ten. Makes a huge difference. I think Oregon comes to Camp Randall and thumps Wisconsin. I think there's a huge talent differential. The Wisconsin team is an old school, run the football, Ron Dane, old school offense. Is not going to be able to keep up with Oregon. Oregon, it is a track meet with Dylan Gabriel.
Oh yeah,
the receiving core. They just predominate. I think they cover the 14 easy.
Yeah, the Iowa Rutgers game last year. The over-under for the game was 27.5.
Abysmal.
Oh, man. All right, well, Uncle Jamie's college football locks of the week, as always, sponsored by Central City Toyota. And I was down there 2 Wednesdays ago, needed 4 tires for the minivan, front end alignment, bam, that car is driving. Amazing. If you're looking for service, the largest parts and service dealership in the entire city of Philadelphia. So you can drop your car off. Yeah, they'll shuttle you into the city and boom, take the shuttle back and pick it up. And also by an appointment basis, if you go to centralcitytoyota.com, they'll come pick your car up, service it, and then drop it back off for work for you. And again, that's centralcitytoyota.com for all of that. And it's a one-price approach. Uncle Jamie, this is a family thing with me. I've been a customer for 20 years. I bought my first new car at Central City Toyota. It was the 2005 Corolla LE, Uncle Jamie.
Oh yeah, that was a nice car. You remember your Camry? You were hard pressed to give up your Camry, if you remember.
Yes, the Corolla was, Jamie had to look extra because I always drove a manual, a stick, and it's like they don't really make them anymore. And I'm like, I don't care, I want it. But I gave up on that dream, like the DH. I said, the DH, I'm over with the DH. It's gone. So I stopped driving a stick. I had a 2012 Camry Special Edition. Oh, yeah. When I had the third kid, it's like, no, you got to get a bigger car. I'm like, I don't want to get rid of the Camry. The car was awesome. That was a good car. CentralCityToyota.com. That's how you find everything that Uncle Jamie does. There's cars under $12,000, an amazing selection of everything that they have, certified pre-owns. Anything you need, just ask for Uncle Jamie. Central City Toyota.
Shout out! I saw on your Instagram that you are now on Xfinity. I saw your show listed on the Xfinity. So all those Comcast people out there, look up the show. It's awesome. Excited to hear that.
Yep. Just talk into your remote and say PHLY, and we have our own channel on Xfinity as of yesterday.
Can't wait.
It's awesome. All right, Uncle Jamie, good luck, man. We'll talk next week.
All right. See you.
All right. There he is, Uncle Jamie.